Yo, what's up, traders? Me and Leo have been testing a lot lately. In July, I've tested on this account 21 hours, and a lot of the testing, to be honest, was on Leo's account with us watching it together, basically. So I think in the last month and a half, maybe 2 months, we spent like 100 hours at least testing stuff. And I think I found a very strong, simple, I think we found a very strong, simple strategy that really suits sort of the philosophy of this channel as a whole. So today I want to explain what the strategy is. You guys can take advantage of all the testing we've been doing. It's been a lot. We've tested a lot of different stuff. So yeah, if you appreciate the effort we put in and you like this sort of content, supporting the channel is very much appreciated. As always, I like to keep things simple on this channel, or we do. And basically, this strategy will be is a Fibonacci retracement strategy. So it will be pro trend, which is like one of the things I've always wanted in a strategy. A pro trend, you will always know where to place your stop loss, where to place your TP. So not a lot of, you don't have to do a lot of the thinking, like risk management wise. Um, and yeah, let's get into it, right? Like, so first off, you need to know what is the trend. So here we're clearly bullish, and all you really do is you draw the Fibonacci retracement in a bullish trend, of course, from top to bottom, from bottom to top, sorry, from bottom to top, and you want to have a few levels in there. You don't necessarily need the 0.5 or 0.61 in this specific example of the strategy. We've tested a lot of variations of the strategy, and basically anything using at least the 6.1 level up to the 8.7, 8.6 is profitable. So you can basically decide what sort of risk to reward ratio you want, because if you want to go for more high risk to reward ratio, you can go, for instance, for up to 5x by going for the 8. We suggest to go for like the 8.6 level, which should be a little bit under the 0 level. But for this specific variation of the strategy, we've been testing the 7.2 level, since we've noticed a lot of times it retraces to the 7.2 and then it goes up. So we use a 7.2 level. We go for a 2.3-ish risk reward ratio. So you set up the, in a bullish trend, you set up the Fibonacci retracement from the bottom to the top. Basically, you can set up a limit order. You can just set up your trade to enter at the 7.2 level. If you want, you can also wait for a rejection candle, but we've been setting up limit orders, so you don't need to wait for any rejection candle or anything like that. Very simple, pro structure. So from bottom to top, set it up, and you get a win on this specific example. So then let's continue. Here, for instance, we would draw it up from the bottom to the top, and I think I used this low. Yeah, I used this low just because it was very close to the recent low. I was like, this will cover sort of a potential liquidity grab here. It's not too difficult, but yeah, if there's a low very close to it, might as well place it on the closest low. As you can see here, a nice retracement to the 7.2 level before rejecting and going up. And let's take another example. Let's see here. I think I've drew it up from here. Yeah, I drew it up from here. So as you can see on the line chart, we have a low here. I've been testing internal, and we've also been testing external, so also taken like a farther away low. But both of them are profitable. All you really need to do is understand what you're going for. If it's like, it just needs to be pro trend, basically. You can even take very small lows. So for instance, here you have like a continuation. As you can see here, you have a small low, small high here that's been created. And if you set it up, as you can see, the 7.2 level got perfectly tested. You can see on the line chart, you had the new low, and then the new high was created, drew it up from the low to the high, entered on the 7.2. Nice little win. Sometimes you, of course, like in every strategy in trading, you lose some trades. So in this specific example, I took the extreme, took it to the top, and entered, and sadly there was a loss, but that's part of trading. Also here, another loss where I took it from the top to the bottom for a short trade, ended up getting stopped out. So that's very much part of trading. Then we had a shift of structure here, as you can see on the line chart. Line chart very much helps with reading the structure. So we had like a shift of structure here, going bearish for me, and then, well, at least the internal structure going bearish, entered, and as you can see, a very nice test before going down and getting a win. So Leo, to be honest, is a lot better at reading the how do you call it, like the order flow than me. I've been getting used to the way he reads the market. I've looked at the market a little bit different, but both of them work. And right now we're finding like the way to look at the market. I think I'm leaning more towards his way, but I'm still getting used to it. But as you can see, sort of my way, somewhere in between here, also works very well. So as long as you know like your trading pro trend, even if it's internal or external, structure, you will likely be profitable with this strategy. I can just show you some like examples of like results we've had. So for instance, here in, let's see, in like less than 2 weeks, I think we took 11% in this specific test. So 57% win rate. Very nice. Could have taken home, I think, a little bit more if we went for higher RR in this specific scenario. Let's see for another one. We've done a lot of testing. So when going for 5 risk to reward ratio, like what I told earlier in the video, for like the 0.86 level-ish, we also had some positive back tests. So let's go to session analytics. As expected, the win rate will be lower. I had a lot of losses in the end. So I was on a little bit of a losing streak at the end. But up to here, I think the win rate was still very high. 25% in, I think, in 2 months. So 25% in 2 months, very nice. Then I think we've done another test. 31k in 2.5 months. So over 10% a month as well. Let's see, 32% win rate. So like it depends on what you go for. If you go for like the lower risk reward ratio, of course you have a higher win rate. We've had tests where we had up to 70% win rate, 75% win rate, with going with like a lower risk reward ratio, where we went for like 1 point something, and the win rate was very high. But yeah, we also like to go for a little bit more risk reward ratio, where we go for like 2.3 in this case. Also the 6-1 is very nice. We basically like levels the 0.618 and the 0.72 and the 0.886. So yeah, I think this will be the video for now. We're very much well, we know the strategy is profitable. We've tested it more than enough to know it's profitable, but we're still fine-tuning the nuances on which pair, for instance, it works best in what time frame. We've been trading on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. For instance, now we noticed that gold is working very good on the 1 hour, but we noticed that on Forex the 4 hour looks a little bit cleaner. So we're very much still we're not done with the testing, but we can definitely put it out there that it's a profitable strategy, and we want to continue helping people, let people discover the strategy and teach people it, and hopefully we get a nice response. People like it, other people will test it, see their findings, and we can look for nice trades together, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, if you like this sort of content, leaving a like, subscribe, comment, very much appreciated, and join the Discord. Yeah, I hope this was insightful. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye.